go after hate speech. Is that, I mean, a lot of your allies say hate speech is free speech.
We'd probably go after people like you because you treat me so unfairly. It's hate. You have a lot of hate in your heart. Maybe they'll come after ABC. Well, ABC paid me $16 million recently for a form of hate speech, right? Your company paid me $16 million for a form of hate speech, so maybe they'll have to go after you.
Okay, so this happened. Again, President Trump just publicly humiliated a female reporter during a press event, made patronizing and objectifying comments about her, and then, because apparently that wasn't enough, threatened to sue her. Yeah, the President of the United States threatened legal action against a journalist for doing her job. On October 14th, 2025, in front of cameras, in front of the world. Here's what went down. A female reporter asked Trump a legitimate question about China's presence in Latin America. It's a serious geopolitical issue. Important stuff. The kind of thing the President of the United States should probably answer, right? But Trump didn't answer the question. Instead, he turned to Vice President Vance and said, "I just like to watch her talk." Then he looked back at the reporter and said, "Good job." Thank you, darling. Darling. He called a professional journalist darling while refusing to answer her question. And the "I just like to watch her talk" comment? That's not a compliment. That's objectification. That's him saying, "I don't care what you're asking, I just like looking at you and listening to you talk. Like your entertainment, not a professional doing your job." The response was immediate. Social media exploded. Media organizations condemned it. Critics called it misogynistic, objectifying, and sexist. Multiple commentators pointed out that if this happened in most workplaces, it would be reportable harassment. You can't just tell a female colleague you like watching her talk and call her darling without facing consequences. But when you're the president, apparently you can do whatever you want. And Trump's history here is extensive. This isn't a one-time slip. This is a pattern. He's made comments about female reporters' physical appearance. He's commented on their lips. He's called them names. He's dismissed their questions. He's treated them like they're there for decoration rather than to hold him accountable. And every time he does it, his supporters say it's just Trump being Trump, or that people are too sensitive, or that it's taken out of context. But here's the thing. Context doesn't make it better. Saying, "I just like to watch her talk," while refusing to answer a serious policy question, is demeaning no matter how you slice it. It reduces a professional journalist to her appearance and her voice. It dismisses her legitimacy. It sends a message to every woman in media that their questions don't matter, only how they look and sound. And then came the escalation. After the public backlash, after the criticism, after people called out the sexism, Trump reportedly threatened to sue the reporter. For what? Defamation? Disrespect? For having the audacity to do her job and then be offended when the president objectified her on camera? This is intimidation. This is using the threat of legal action to silence journalists. This is the President of the United States trying to punish someone for being the subject of a controversy that he created. And it's terrifying. Because if the president can threaten to sue any reporter who asks uncomfortable questions, or who gets public support after being mistreated, then press freedom is dead. This isn't just about one reporter, this is about all of us. Let's break down why this matters so much, because there are layers to this that go way beyond one awkward press conference moment. First, there's the sexism. Trump has a well-documented history of treating female reporters differently than male reporters. He interrupts them more. He dismisses their questions more. He comments on their appearance. And he uses diminutive language, darling, honey, sweetheart, that he would never use with male journalists. This isn't accidental, it's a power move. By refusing to engage with the substance of a female reporter's question and instead making it about her appearance or voice, Trump is asserting dominance. He's saying, "I don't have to take you seriously. You're not a real threat. You're just something nice to look at." It's the same tactic he's used throughout his career in business and politics, and it's the same tactic that has kept women fighting for equal treatment in every professional field. Public response to this incident was swift and severe. Multiple outlets called the comments misogynistic. Social media lit up with people sharing their own experiences of workplace harassment and pointing out that Trump's behavior would get most people fired. One viral tweet said, "If your boss said, 'I just like to watch you talk,' and called you darling in a meeting, you'd be calling HR. But when the president does it, we're supposed to just shrug?" And that's exactly right. We have standards for workplace conduct specifically because this kind of behavior creates hostile environments. It makes it harder for women to be taken seriously. It sends a message that competence matters less than appearance. And when the President of the United States engages in this behavior publicly, it normalizes it. It tells millions of men that this is acceptable. It tells millions of women that they should expect this treatment. But the sexism is only part of the story. The other part is the threat to sue. After the backlash, after the criticism, Trump reportedly threatened legal action against the reporter for defamation and disrespect. Think about how insane that is. The president makes demeaning comments to a reporter. The public criticizes him, and his response is to threaten to sue the reporter, the person he demeaned in the first place. This is classic Trump. He's used threats of lawsuits throughout his career to intimidate, silence, and punish people who oppose him or criticize him. As a businessman, he threatened vendors, contractors, and journalists. As a politician, he's threatened news organizations, former staff members, and anyone who writes unflattering books or articles about him. And now, as president, he's weaponizing that tactic against the free press. The implications here are massive. If a president can threaten to sue journalists for doing their jobs, then press freedom is under direct attack. The First Amendment protects freedom of the press specifically because a free press is essential to democracy. Journalists are supposed to ask tough questions. They're supposed to hold powerful people accountable. They're supposed to report on things the government doesn't want reported. But if doing any of that means risking a lawsuit from the President of the United States, complete with all the legal fees and public scrutiny that comes with it, then journalists will self-censor. They'll think twice before asking hard questions. They'll soften their coverage. They'll be less willing to challenge authority. And that's the point. That's exactly what Trump wants. This incident also fits into a broader pattern of Trump's conflict with the media. He's called the press the enemy of the people. He's revoked press credentials. He's refused to hold regular press conferences. He's created alternative media ecosystems where he only takes friendly questions. And now he's adding direct threats of legal action to the mix. Each of these tactics chips away at press independence, bit by bit, until we're left with a media environment where only compliant voices get access. So where does this leave us? We have a president who publicly demeans female reporters, refuses to answer their questions, and then threatens to sue them when people call out his behavior. This is a multi-layered attack on both gender equality and press freedom, and it's happening in plain sight. The immediate impact is on the reporter herself. She was trying to do her job, ask an important question about China's influence in Latin America, and instead became the story because of Trump's sexist comments. Now she's facing potential legal threats from the most powerful person in the country. Even if Trump never actually files a lawsuit, the threat alone is damaging. It's public intimidation. It's a warning to other journalists, cross me, and this could happen to you. But the broader impact is on all of us. When the president normalizes sexist treatment of women in professional settings, it sets back decades of progress toward gender equality in the workplace. When he threatens journalists with lawsuits for asking questions, he undermines the freedom of the press that democracy depends on. And when he does both simultaneously, he's sending a clear message. Women who challenge me will be objectified and punished. This is part of a larger authoritarian playbook. Undermine the press. Target critics. Use legal threats as weapons. Normalize inappropriate behavior toward women. Each piece reinforces the others. A press that's afraid to ask tough questions can't hold leaders accountable for their treatment of women or anything else. Women who are constantly objectified and dismissed have a harder time being taken seriously when they report on abuses of power. What can we do about it? We can refuse to normalize this behavior. We can call it out every single time. We can support journalists who face these kinds of attacks. We can demand that elected officials speak up against this conduct, regardless of party. We can vote for leaders who respect both press freedom and basic human dignity. Because here's the bottom line. The way Trump treated that reporter isn't funny. It isn't harmless. It isn't just Trump being Trump. It's sexism. It's intimidation. It's an attack on press freedom. And if we let it become normal, if we shrug and move on to the next scandal, we're complicit in the erosion of the values that make democracy possible. This is bigger than one comment to one reporter. This is about what we're willing to accept from our leaders.